We're Call to order Benton City Council meeting on February 20th, 2024. And I'd like to do a roll call.
Councilwoman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilman Sandretto.
Here.
Councilman Reed.
Here.
Councilwoman Alcazar.
Here.
Councilman Valencia to be.
Here.
Okay, we'd like to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask Steve Rouse if he will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is to swear in Councilman Jose. You want to come up here?
Oh.
Very formal. And I made a copy of this, so as I read it, you can repeat it after me and raise your right hand. Okay. I, Jose I. Valencia, do solemnly swear
I, Jose I. Valencia, do solemnly swear
or affirm that I am a citizen of the United States, the state of Washington, and the city of Benton City,
or affirm that I am a citizen of the United States, the state of Washington, and the city of Benton City,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Washington,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Washington,
the laws of the city of Benton City,
and the laws of the city of Benton City,
and to do the best of my judgment, skill, and ability,
and to do the best of my judgment, skill, and ability,
will truly, faithfully, diligently, and impartially perform the duties of the office of council member for the city of Benton City, Washington, as such duties are prescribed by law.
will truly, faithfully, vigilantly, and impartially perform the duties of the office of council member for the city of Benton City, Washington, as such duties are prescribed by law.
Okay, thank you. If he signs this, can you're okay, would you sign this?
Yep.
You can save this copy for your records. Okay. Thank you, Jose. Welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
You're in that group.
Yeah.
Next item, is to, okay, consent agenda. And all the items listed under that. Are there any questions, or do I hear any comments on that?
I have nothing to say about it other than we really need to talk about the building official at some point.
Correct, that's going to be on the next council meeting agenda. I've been working on the fees diligently for the past 2 weeks and exploring fees big time. And we have a lot to discuss, and we're going to have a little discussion because we probably need to do a workshop on that very subject. Okay, and I think everybody will be excited with all the help the staff's put together making this happen. There's been a lot of neat work that's been put forth. I'm excited.
I'm always excited.
What?
Can't you tell?
What?
I said I'm always excited. Can't you tell?
Yes.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Sandra, I.
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, aye.
Valencia.
Alcazar.
Consent agenda is approved. Do we have any visitors looking to make any comments online or otherwise? Okay. Reports, staff report, the planners report.
Good evening, Mayor Burton, members of the City Council. This is the planner's report. It was written in February 15th. The first item, I plan checked and approved 5 single-family homes along Hugh Avenue and 8th Street in River North, Hayden Homes, the new subdivision. The plan checks included viewing site plans for utility easements, building setback and parking requirements. And it's just not 5, it's now 8. Over the last couple of days, we've had more come in. So it's starting to fill up very rapidly. Item number 2, prepared the staff report for the Olson Brothers subdivision preliminary plat. The first public hearing presentation will be before the Planning Commission, which is scheduled for February 22nd. And the information reviewed included their plans, the SEPA checklist, the geotechnical report, traffic study, and archaeology study. Again, this is for a 40-acre parcel to be subdivided into 210 residential lots. The property, again, is located west of Kybee Market and Highland Road. Property between Kybee Market and Highland Road. Property is zoned R3, high-density residential. The Olson Brothers subdivision preliminary plat after it would be reviewed and heard at the Planning Commission will come before this body probably in March. CMSC Properties, item number 3, submitted with a conditional use permit application to construct and operate a drive-through eating and drinking establishment. CMSC Properties, CS Properties, are the property owners there of the different parcels on the east of the Shell station as well as the west. And this proposal is on the west side.
That was my question.
I
Thank
was
you.
turned around. It
That's
was
right.
my mistake the last time. You were right.
I'm a geography teacher. I have these things.
But I did have the right tax parcel number
Good.
and all that, but I was turned around.
Sorry.
LCR Construction is the applicant. And again, this will be before the Planning Commission, February 22nd. And they are proposing to construct a drive-through coffee retail establishment on 0.42 acre site. Property is zoned C1 commercial and is designated commercial in the comprehensive plan. And again, the conditional use will come before this council sometime in March after their initial review with the Planning Commission. Next item, staff made final changes to the municipal code proposed chapter 1510 flood damage prevention, which is the title of that new section. These changes to the municipal code are a requirement on the state's Growth Management Act for periodic update. Recently, the Planning Commission held both a workshop and public hearing to make recommendation for council final approval. Proposed changes to the code are being reviewed by legal counsel prior to council public hearing, which will be later this month or for next month. Also to go along with that, we had a meeting with the counties doing their flood report. So more to come on that. That's an interesting topic, and they are prepared to come to the city to hold a workshop on their findings and what's going to happen with that. The last item, Parks and Rec Plan Addendum Update, which you're going to hear a little bit more about it. Again, this is an item we've been talking about for the last couple of months. And this is for adoption and for meeting the state requirements for the grant monies for parks. And that concludes my report. Any questions?
Thursday night, the Planning Commission will be hearing the presentation from Olson Brothers. That's Thursday night on their project.
Right, that will be the first public hearing. Then it will be scheduled for another public hearing before this body. We've had a couple of meetings with the developers in this case, as well as the different resource agencies, state highways, county, irrigation district, school district. So we've had a couple of informal workshops with them and to go over the project proposal. There was a couple of comments through the SEPA process, and the developers are addressing those comments and discuss those in these last couple of meetings. So they've addressed everything and they've got a pretty good proposal.
Any questions? Thank you, George. Kyle, recreation.
Good evening. So in the recent months, we've backed off on the weekly events and we've been having larger monthly events. So crafts or painting. We had bingo night last week. We had about 50 or 60 people out at bingo night last week, which was a great success. We did do our first lecture series last month on the last Friday. It was on the planets and just planetary systems. We had about 16 people there that stayed the whole night, which was pretty good for our first event. We are having our second lecture series this Friday on telescopes, and there will be a craft before that as well. So as far as the programs go currently, I'd say it's a success for the winter time. It always slows down then anyways. Once we can start getting outdoors again, it normally ramps back up and we'll do it more frequently. I have been working with Mayor Len on applying for some grant funding for some outdoor funds for not this year, but the following year. That grant due date is in October, I believe. So I'll continue working on that, and that's about all I got. Anybody have any questions on current status or what we're doing? I'm good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's
And
balloons.
no sheriff's report tonight. Engineering, what?
You want me to go there? Talk to them about that.
I'll go talk to them.
They're
Yeah,
probably popping their balloons.
you know, they,
Party's over.
hey, Nathan, you got the show.
Yes, good evening, council, mayor. I'm not gonna go over every line on the engineering report, but just touch on a few of the highlights from this previous month or things that are coming up. Task order number 3, Dale Avenue Water and Sewer. We are in construction. We've hit a few change orders. There's one for approval tonight, which actually was part of the consent agenda. That was due to finding an undesignated pipe in the ground that they had to hand dig around quite a few locations.
So what is that pipe for?
We don't know. No one's been able to determine what it is, but we're not willing to bust it and see what comes out. So
Well, I get that, and I don't want you to bust it to figure it out, but I would like to know, and I think it needs to be mapped out and figure out what it is as soon as we can.
we do have markings of where it is located, so we'll definitely be added onto the as-built. When it comes to what it is, I'm not sure. Do you have any ideas?
We had both irrigation districts out and look at it.
Yeah,
Where was that?
We
It's,
had both irrigation districts out, look at it, neither of them.
Where was the
Claimed it.
actual pipe location?
it's just west of 7th Street. And it came from the south, it crossed our sewer line, ran to the west, so that's where we were digging, and then it crossed back to the south. There was a 6-inch steel line.
You didn't want to follow it to the end either way.
I don't know if it was something for temporary during construction, when they put the underground irrigation line in, but that didn't seem like it would make a whole lot of sense to me, but you never know what people have to do, different things.
Well, you also know the old sewer plant was down over the other side of the railroad tracks too, so.
Right.
It could be any number of things, but the one thing we need to figure out is what it is. Is it abandoned?
Right.
And what can we do with it as far as marking it out and leaving?
We'll have it on our plans, it'll be shown there. On the other bill. But, as far as making a final determination, I mean, you can spend a lot of time and money chasing something and never find anything out.
Well, my concerns would be, A, it's
some line that's sewer related and we'll never know it's there until it breaks.
Right.
Or it's water related and it'll rust through and contaminate the system. So,
Well,
I would like to know,
there is no water except for what we're putting out there now, so.
well, that's what we believe.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right,
Are we have a potential one more change order coming in on this project still?
That is correct, yes. So, and we're still working with the contractor on that one. There were just this last week,
Right.
the water pipe that they were tying into was much deeper than we thought it was. So there was some extra labor incurred there. And there were a couple breaks in the line.
Yeah.
We're determining, we had our inspector on site and I know also Sergio was on site. So.
There was Sergio and, yeah.
Yeah, so we are gathering the information from the contractor now on what they think the change order should entail. And then going back to our team and negotiating that. So still gathering data. I don't have a lot to say on it at this point, other
At this
than
point, other than.
we
have
do
the-
accept
We have
that.
the potential. of a change
Yes,
order.
we do accept that the line was much deeper than anticipated, so there are some extra costs incurred there. That would constitute a change order, but the line breaks and all of those things, we're still negotiating and kind of gathering the information on that. So we will have it by the March
Okay.
5th council meeting.
Or March council meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continuing on, so task order number 5, lift station 5 improvements. We've been working with irrigation district and putting together the final design. And there are some changes to the design. So Wade and Sergio went and looked at a lift station that was done by the city of Richland and really liked the design and the system that was set up there. So we'll be doing some changes to the civil plans there and some of the electrical. So there'll be a change order to that as well to account for those changes to the plans that we had already put together. Task order 7, the athletic facilities grant. Megan Hoke with Calix Development Services is putting that grant together, but there was a lot of groundwork that needed to be done here locally. So we did get over to her this last week, feasibility study on the property, a project budget, timeline and milestones, and we have drafted a memorandum of understanding with the landowner to purchase the land. And it's just under legal review right now. So once that's approved, then all of that will go in for our application on March 13th for that property. Force main extension, task order number 10. Wade called and specifically asked that we move that up the priority list. He had a long night, I guess, a couple weeks ago where he had to come and do quite a bit of work. So we're hoping to get the final civil design done actually this week. And we anticipate, because of the way we're doing this, the cost will be not what we had originally anticipated, quite a bit less, and we can just go through MRSC, not have to actually post a bid out for this. So we're hoping to get some competitive bids on it and get this one moving quickly, hopefully next month. The other two, just real quick, I want to touch on task order 15, Department of Commerce grant acceptance. Again, that's the City Hall asbestos project. I'm gathering data on that. I'm hoping by the end of the month to submit the change in scope of work on that one to do upgrades to the maintenance shop instead of take the asbestos out of City Hall. And boat launch power and lighting, there is a grant available on, that's task order 16, I apologize. There's a grant available from WCIA, which is the Small City Insurance Agency, where they'll do upgrades to sidewalks or lighting. So I'm working on that. You'll see coming up for approval as a task order for grant investigation and applications. So that's one of them that I'm going to be working on to see if we can get some lighting in that park over at the boat launch. I know it's something we've been wanting to do for quite a while. Hopefully we can get a grant for that.
And we already have the material for the crosswalk and everything like that. That was purchased because weren't we up against the time frame on that too?
Not purchased yet. We're still waiting on DOT on their approval on those projects. So the pedestrian crossings and the Riverfront Park Trail, we're still waiting for washed out approval. So we do have approval for the pedestrian crossings to move forward. However, because we changed from Spink to Akana, I had to submit a supplement agreement to change the contractor, no change in our costs or anything, but that's pending their approval now. So, and on Riverfront Park Trail, the transportation improvement plan has to be updated on the state's website, which is set to be updated in March. They can't approve it until the STIP matches the application. So in March, they should be approving the Riverfront Park Trail project. So we have not bought anything yet. We're waiting on that approval, but hoping to get that moving.
Did we have a time frame on that though?
Initially, we did, but with all the other projects in the region that were obligated, we were taken out of that requirement.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And that's everything on the engineer's report. Any questions, comments? Okay,
Thank you, Nathan.
yeah, thank you.
Items for approval. We have the porch plan update.
Did you want council committee reports?
Excuse me?
Did you want council committee
Oh.
reports?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. Sorry about that. Council committee meeting reports, please.
So I believe it was on the 8th. I attended the Ben Franklin Transit Board of Directors meeting. And just to keep council updated, the transit and the board of directors have all made an affirmative choice to handle some overtime issues with a supplemental contractor that we currently are working with. And we're working through the process to establish an enhancement to the services. This does not sit well with the employees of Ben Franklin Transit. There's a lot of misinformation going around, and I caution the board not to buy into that. And as the citizens understand that the board of directors is doing the best they can financially as well as service wise, and we want to give you the best service possible. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I have no reports at this time.
No new reports.
No new reports.
Okay, I attended the Ben Franklin Council of Governments meeting, and nothing really special to report there, just normal discussion. I have another meeting with them tomorrow, so I will update again. Okay, items for approval. Porch plan update. Any comments, questions?
I do got some questions.
Okay.
My specific questions are related to, and there's no page
Where'd you
numbers
go on
here. Oh, there it is. 53 and 54, the maps. And the related items, at least the narrative talks about half-mile offset around existing parks, and it specifically calls out the city park. But in that, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? Mention of Botaka Park. There's no mention of Meadow or Mountain View Meadows. They're not on the map. And the new city park that we're trying to establish down by the railroad bridge, it's not there as well. So my question is, are these maps updated, or am I missing something in the grand scheme of it?
Page,
Thank you, everything.
on page 55.
53 and 54.
53 and 54.
I'm showing the Bataka Loop Park and Mountain View Meadows. And then-
So that would be this map here. For 54, yeah, 53 and 54.
Mhm.
And if you look at both of these, there is no Botaka and there is no Mountain View Meadows. I knew why.
I was looking online. Like we're talking online.
So
Okay.
I didn't see it on the packet online either when I first looked, so.
I saw there.
Now on I think there's a previous one, there might be, I noticed something, but I just want to be sure that we're approving this plan as fully as it needs to be and that we're not missing something.
There, I believe, I know the reason for that. Nathan produced a map with those new changes, but we had a change out front. Cassandra went on baby leave. At just the finishing of this, and she was providing the final updates
Mhm.
and might not have inserted it into that final document.
Okay.
I sent maybe an earlier version to council. And I believe that the changes that Nathan sent over did not get into that. Because I had Cassandra, she was typing and putting it, assembling it, and then went out on maternity leave a couple of days earlier than what we anticipated.
Did you send one directly to council? Or was it part of the packet?
There was one I dropped off here before the meeting. And was
Right,
another
and
one
that's
sent out?
what he's looking at and
That's
so
what I'm looking at right there. is the one you just dropped
these
off.
were not changed. These maps were not changed.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's the
um,
same map.
It's
that's
the
in there.
same map. that's in
Page
there.
10, it looks like.
Yeah,
That's
they're
what we're
included
talking
there
there.
at the front,
Okay.
but when we get to the back and we're talking about land acquisition
Mhm.
and park placement, they're not included on
Okay.
those maps.
That
That's what I'm
needs to
saying.
be taken out,
Okay,
that old map.
and it needs to be replaced with a new map.
Right.
That means some of the wording is gonna have to change in this document.
If this helps, the resolution provides that what you'd be approving is substantially this, and it could be modified.
Okay,
As
They're listed on page 11,
they are. That's what I'm saying. The front of the document shows them.
and they're missing on the map.
Yes.
So we can approve it with the
Okay.
approval.
So I
as
bring that
amended.
to your attention that needs to be fixed prior to publication. But I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve resolution 2024-12, a resolution to approve the 2024 parks plan update.
Again, that will be deleted out of the packet, the old map. Because we
Okay.
do have the new.
And Dan, that would be as amended.
No, it's in substantial conformity,
Yeah,
which gives it gives a little bit more flexibility if we need to insert another map or something like that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, aye.
Valencia.
Alcazar, I.
Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, George. Next item is a task order 19 with a cannon. And you want to address this, Nathan? You and I have talked about it. And explain what we're talking about and why we're looking at it maybe. And
Yes, so I'd spoken to Mayor Burton a couple weeks ago about a lot of grant opportunities that are available for the city. And with our current workload, I don't have the time to go through and research grants for the city. I see a lot of needs and I see a lot of opportunities the city could take advantage of, but recommended looking at Calix, Megan Hoke, but in his in Mayor's conversation with Megan, she can work on about 3 a year. And I believe that's what she said. Is that correct? 3 to 4 a
period
year?
of time.
Yeah, about 3 to 4 a year for the city. And there's many other opportunities. I didn't have this available for the packet. I apologize, but this is just kind of some of the opportunities I put together. So if you take one down, pass it around. But Akana has a team of grant specialists. Because I'm here with the city and work with the city, I know, what the city could take advantage of and what what the city needs. So with that, we can help support Calix and work on additional grants as needed. So I put together a task order for an annual task order of $20,000 to just help support the city in writing more grant applications, doing more grant research. A lot of opportunities out there. We've got a lot of parks coming up, with the spreadsheet I put together, I kind of put recommendations. I know the splash pad is a priority. There's the aquatic lands access grant, which Riverfront Park would be a great option for that because again, it's right by the river. Talked about park lighting, a small grant with WCIA. A lot of opportunities there that we could take advantage of, but with Megan's limitations, you know, her time limitations, because I believe she supports 4 other agencies, 3 to 4 other agencies. So she gives the city about a day a week. And that's just for what these grants need, it's not quite enough to really take advantage of opportunities that are out there. So willing to help if I can and help us get some more grants and get some of this stuff done. And they're all tight timelines. So we've got some, if I get approval tonight, I'll start busting really quick on the park lighting one because it's due beginning of March. And there was another small one there. I don't recall what it was, but we'll be working on those, prioritizing. Oh, the TIB Safe Streets. TIB has some funding as well, which we can look at, speaking with the public works guys, street striping and some flashing beacons, some additional flashing beacons that we could take advantage of from TIB. But again, that pre-application is also due the beginning of March. So we need to get those moving right away.
And it also entails looking at more opportunities than this, does it not?
It does. That does not limit
It's
us to
just
this.
a
This is
pre-
just a picture of what
Right,
I,
picture of what's out there.
what has come across my desk over the last 2 months. And
Mhm.
just kind of, this is what's out there right now, but I know there's more grant opportunities out there as well. So the 20,000 would include researching grants, see what we're eligible for, and then writing those grant applications. Once a grant is awarded, that would then be up to the city to decide who's managing that grant, whether we help with that or whether somebody internally helps with actually managing a grant once it's awarded.
And how much is that 20,000? How far does that go?
It's for the year.
It's for the rest of the year.
It's for the rest of the year. It would be an hourly basis.
Unless we change it at some point, right?
Yes, or if, 6 months in, I look at it, I'm like, wow, I've spent a lot more time, unfortunately, I'm 2/3 through the budget. We may look at it and look at what grants are coming up. But that's my anticipation is for the year. That would cover us for the year.
And do you feel like you have the time to be able to dedicate to us to be able to do the grant? To look into all these grant
They have
process?
a dedicated group that works with grants.
They do. So it would be more under my guidance, but there's a team of 5 grant writers with Akana. They're not local. They're all out of Portland. But again, it would basically be, I'd still do the research and investigation and say, these are what I found that we need. Help me put a grant together, and that team would help me. And their time is accounted for in that 20,000 as well, budgeted.
Everybody speak at once.
Well, I just appreciate you putting this together because I know I've heard that there's so many grants out there that we're not taking advantage of that would be extremely beneficial for the community here, along with the citizens, and upgrading some things that have been brought to the table and we just kind of been sitting on. So
Yeah.
I think this is a good way for us to move forward. And it sounds like you have a team that's able to kind of dedicate some time to help us land some of these grants.
It's kind of sad to see things come and then we're not able to take advantage of them, at least get applications in. So
I totally agree.
I do, yes, because it makes sense to have a department. If you have 5 people that can work on the grants, that's a lot better than one person that can do 3, maybe 4 a year. We have a lot of needs in our community. Citizens want things, and we don't have a lot of income to necessarily cover that. And free money, I'm always up for that.
yes, I would add, the only other thing I would add is working with Megan out of Alex. She's a very good grant writer. She does a good job, but she's not local. And unfortunately, what that leads to is I've myself, and I know some of the city staff have had to step up and provide a lot of documentation and a lot of local information to her to write grants. So in this case, then it's all in one, in all the grants that we would work on, it's all in-house, all one group.
I'm excited. I think this is a good path forward for us. So
Any motions?
I'm trying to find if there's one on here.
I move to approve task order number 19, a task order for Akana to provide services for grant, research, and application submittals.
I- It's page 109.
I know my computer just quit scrolling, so that's where I got a little frozen.
Okay. All in favor?
Sandra, I.
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, I.
Valencia,
Alcazar, I.
Motion passes. Resolution 2024-17 to waive the competitive bid requirements for telemetry control lift panel at Station 5.
Yes, so that's a mouthful to say, but essentially what that is approving a sole source for total energy management to provide the telemetry for the upgrade at lift station 5 when we do that. Otherwise, we have to pay somebody to design that whole panel for us, but because it's sole source, they're able to provide the design as part of the project.
I understand that, but that's a proprietary product that they have.
The design is proprietary. That's correct.
We've worked with them in the past.
Yes, that's who Wade prefers to use. That's who does the programming for us at the treatment plant, and because this will be tied into programming, it's all, again, proprietary programming, proprietary information, so.
Questions?
I guess my only question is the legal. Can we waive that particular?
Yes, we've gone through this, I think that we put the resolution together along with Nathan's help. And there are some exceptions to, sole source is an exception to the bidding requirement.
All right,
I move to approve resolution 2024-17, a resolution to waive the competitive bidding requirements and approving the purchase of a telemetry control panel for lift station number 5.
Second,
All in favor?
Sandra, I.
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, I.
Valencia,
Alcazar, I.
Motion passes. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, thank you. Next item, unfinished business, pork impact fees. The last workshop, I'd mentioned $990. I have shot past $990 so far that it's gonna make a shock you. I'm thinking a pork impact fee of $2,700 for residential and a probably about an $1,800 pork impact fee for multi-family units per unit. That's based on the fact that West Richland goes to a $3,100 pork impact fee on June 1st of this year. And this is also going to be reflective in the new fee schedule we're putting together that we're going to bring to council and hopefully talk about having a workshop to talk about that on our next council meeting. So hopefully nobody's too shell shocked by that level. I don't know if there are any comments or thoughts.
What's Prosser's? Is it
What?
still 965?
Prosser's 965.
Are they increasing it anytime soon?
They're not doing anything. Richland's 1680. Currently, I don't know where they're gonna go. Like I said, West Richland is now going to 3,100. If you do the math at 3,100 and figure the average number of homes per acre in a subdivision on 10 acres, that would give us just barely enough money to buy 1 acre of park ground. You know, if you're doing the math backing in. So that's gonna be we'll talk about a new fee schedule when we put that together. Any comments, thoughts, questions?
I guess my biggest thing would be competitive or compares to a city the same size as us. West Richland tends to, I think population wise is quite a bit bigger than us. And so I think like Prosser and some of these smaller communities that have the same,
Yeah.
I just don't want us to get so blown out to where people don't want to come in and develop because of the parks fee. But I mean, like I said, it'd be interesting to see what maybe Sunnyside, Grandview, some of these other smaller areas are charging because they're all
They're-
developing.
You know, most of those are $100,000, but their cost of their land is not $125,000 an acre when they're shopping for park ground. And that's one of our challenges is, well, we're having to pay for ground for parks, you know, where do we come up with that kind of money? And I'm trying to think about it, and I hear the concern. It's a major concern, but yeah, based on the fact that we're at $125,000 now for park ground is expensive. And West Richland is about, to build a house in West Richland with all of their fees, comes in right now at about $20,000. And we're collecting probably somewhere, we're not collecting all of our fees currently, and that's one of the issues we're gonna address, but we should be currently collecting somewhere about 10 to 11 grand, and we're not collecting that much. So even if we go there, we will still be only 5 grand under West Richland on a single family residential.
I guess I would just be curious to see what some of these other smaller communities are doing versus just West Richland, because I know West Richland, there's a lot of things that attract families to go there, the schooling and some other things, and quite a bit bigger than us. So I guess I would be interested to see what, Sunnyside, Grandview, Prosser.
I have that information. I can
Perfect.
share that. I have all their fee schedules.
So I guess to tag on to Jessica's comment, I would think that if we want to continue a growth mindset, it would be best to be in the average as opposed to on the top fringe.
Mhm.
So I would think, based on our location as a bedroom community to the Tri-Cities, we should take into account all 4 of those cities and their park
Mhm.
fees and stay in the average between all
Mhm. Okay, yeah.
of them. But that's just me.
You know, our biggest challenge is legally, we do not have sufficient acreage for parks,
Sure.
and we've got to get there. The challenge is how
How do we get
how
there?
do we write a check big enough to get there?
I agree.
I don't have answers. And Corla has not delivered a printing press that prints money yet. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. In your schedule, you have a new proposal for a new bulk water fee for bulk water use of hydrants. It's pretty, it's quite an increase over where we're at currently. Couple of changes and reasons for them. We were running through, and this is some of the challenges that we've dealt with in the past month that I've seen. We're currently at $50 on a permit. That's a one-time fee. Proposal is to go to a $75 permit, and then that's monthly thereafter for the duration that they have our meter. That prevents somebody from running a meter, hanging on to it for 5 or 6 months to use on another project, and to keep our meters in stock, and gives them incentive to return them. Deposit from $1,200 to $1,250. The water fee goes, we're currently charging $1.75 per 100 cubic feet of water. The fee that I'm proposing is $4.05. That is 10% under West Richland's fee. The reason being is if I was a contractor, I'd come to Benton City and fill my truck up with water, haul it back to West Richland to my job site. And that gets us competitive and also helps us with our water supply. There's some other wording in it that the meters are going to be assigned to a specific hydrant and stay with that hydrant, and staff will check them once a month with the monthly inspection fee. I don't know if there are any comments about that before we go forward with that or not.
I don't necessarily have a comment with this particular piece of this. I do know that we've been dealing with an individual who damaged a hydrant
That is a whole other subject.
through a different process, and I would encourage the mayor to look into the WACs and the RCWs and see if there's some sort of criminalization to that.
Well, what we're doing currently, and I know council's gonna grimace. I have a building permit that goes with that project. We're sitting on that building permit for a resolution for the moment.
Okay.
Okay?
I just, for future reference, though, if we continue to have people do things like that and damage our water meters and
Mhm.
such.
You know, the wording in this is, on the agreement is that, if the fire hydrant that the meter is attached to is damaged, customer agrees to pay for the cost of repair and or replacement of said fire hydrant.
Right.
That's a real narrow subject in my viewpoint and the discussions we've been having with this individual.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't have a problem with adjusting that policy and
Okay,
if you bring it back or if we need to make some motion on it, let me
you know,
know.
we'll put this together as a resolution.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments? Okay. We have some surplus Chromebooks that was purchased in the past that really have no valid use. And the request has been, and this is for information's sake, that we're going to donate them to Kybe School District. And legal counsel has said we can do this because of it's a low monetary value item. And we can just do this without a resolution.
It's in the code. We actually have a code that speaks to that.
Do we? Okay. Okay. Okay, and then other new business, I would like to do a workshop. Next council meeting at 6 o'clock, if that works. If there's a better time. Please share it. I know it's hard for a lot of people to find another evening to do a workshop.
I'm good with that.
Okay, thank you.
That's
Thank you,
it.
Jessica.
Yes, the 5th.
Thank you. You okay, Bill?
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm good, I'm
Okay.
good.
We'll try to keep just one or two items on the agenda. I appreciate it. Is there any other items we need to discuss? Okay,
We have, you have an executive
I
session.
do. I'm getting ready to go there.
All right.
Okay. Well, we will end our little council meeting and we're.
Well, wait, we gotta say how long.
We have to identify how long. and
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there. And we'll come back at 10 before the hour and try to be done in 15 minutes, okay?
And pending or potential litigation. That's it.
Not really.
Pending or potential litigation.
Yeah, pending, right. Hopefully we can do that,
Recreation.
okay? Thank you.
I've been trying to do outdoors things.
And
There you go.
end the executive session and call the regular council meeting back to order. Is there any further business?
Just council comments, I don't know how the rest of the council feels. But, I would like to. First of all, thank Jose for stepping up. Second of all, I'd like to thank the mayor. Quite frankly, it's been a breath of fresh air, the involvement that you have provided to this council.
Oh, you're very kind. You're very kind. Too kind.
And then on that, if no other council comments, I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Sandra, do I?
Reed, aye.
Valencia.
Alcazar, aye.
That's the city council meeting on February 20th.
If you wait a half a second, one of
Wait,
these guys is
adjourn.
gonna jump in and start the